Awesome. Thank you, Coach. Good morning, guys. Can we give Coach Cochran a big round of applause for that introduction? Awesome. So, guys, my name is Naeem, and I'm one of 4 peak performance strategists in the Tony Robbins companies. Now, by a show of hands, how many of you know who Tony Robbins is? Cool. Anybody not know who Tony Robbins is? Thank you for your honesty. And how many of you aren't going to raise your hands no matter what I say? Awesome. Thank you for your participation in the back, right? So Tony Robbins, he's one of the leading authorities on leadership, negotiation, and peak performance. He's directly impacted the lives of over 50 million people from 100 nations. He's a leader called upon by leaders. For example, he works with leaders like Michael Dell, Steve Wynn, Mark Benioff, Anthony Hopkins, Quincy Jones. He just coached the Golden State Warriors last year in the NBA Finals, right? And even 3 of the past 5 American presidents, they were coached and trained by Tony Robbins. Now, are these people I just mentioned already successful? Yes? Yes? Are they already motivated? Yes? And are they busy just like you? 100%, right? So why in the world would successful, busy, motivated people take the time to be coached by anybody? Why do they do it? They want to get better, right? What's your name, brother? Ronnie. What is it, Ronnie? Cool. Thank you, Ronnie. Why else? Why do you think? Why do you guys have a coach? You could always learn more, right? What'd you say, Coach? Keep the lights on? Keep the lights on, right? They want results, and they realize no matter how successful a person is, there's always a next level, right? So look, I'm not here to motivate you guys this morning. You guys don't need motivation. How do I know that? What'd you say? Because you're here, right? The people that didn't show up, those are the people that need motivation, right? What I will do today is help you identify what's holding you back from producing the results you want to accomplish in your business and your personal lives, right? Because once you identify and destroy those internal conflicts and emotional blocks, you can get whatever it is you want in life. Whether it's more money, better health, a loving, passionate relationship, more confidence, or certainty. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to identify what's getting in our way every single day and come up with a solution to destroy it. But now in order for us to get the most out of our time here today, we're going to have to participate and play full out. So research has proven, if you just sit down passively, kind of like you did in 7th grade math class, information went in one ear and out the other, right, Ronnie? And your retention level is only about 10%. But now, if you guys raise your hands, thank you, answer questions, take notes, and shout back answers, scientific research says your retention level goes all the way up to 90%. So today the keyword is participation. What's the keyword? Participation. Participation. Having said that, is this a committed team, yes or no? Yes. Are you guys committed to participating and playing full out in the short period of time we have together today? Say yes. And are you guys committed to make more money this year? Say yes. And are you committed to getting better grades this year? Say yes. And are you guys committed to becoming better athletes this year? Say yes. Awesome. Then sit up in your chairs with lots of energy. Look at your neighbor and say, I'm committed. Are you? Awesome. Now, Tony Robbins, he's always asked this question. What determines our success? Write this down. Our patterns. Our what? Our patterns. Now, can anybody tell me what a pattern is?
Repeating sequence.
Yeah, right. What's your name, man?
Josh.
Cool. Thank you, Josh. Right? Kind of like a habit, yeah? So how many of you guys have good habits? Who's got some good habits? A few hands go up. Coach, I'm a little worried about the team here. Not everybody's hands went up. Did you guys brush your teeth this morning? Yeah. That's a good habit, right? Yep. Cool. Now, how many of you have bad habits? I'll admit it. I'll raise 2 hands for this one. All right. Thank you, my man. I appreciate your honesty. I'm going to show you guys a quick example. I need everybody to stand up for just a minute. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to hold your hands apart 6 inches. Everybody hold your hands apart 6 inches. Cool. Now, when I say 1, 2, 3, go, I want you to clap your hands together, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3. Hey, I didn't say go, right? Now, I know it's silly, but do you see how quickly you just learned a pattern? Literally in like 3 seconds, we learned a new pattern, right? Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to clasp your hands together, intermingling your fingers. Ready? Go. All right. Now, the latest research shows that if your left thumb's over your right thumb, who has their left over the right? All right. That means you are creative. You're incredibly sexy, and you're an amazing lover. True stuff, right? Was that you, Coach? All right. So who's got the right over the left? Coach does? All right. That means you're the logical thinkers of the group, and you're most likely going to be a millionaire, right? Now, I know what you're thinking, right? Do you want the sex or do you want the money, right? You want both, yes. Right. Now, does anybody have their thumbs side by side like this? I hope not. All right, cool. Because if you did, that's really bad. All right. If you had your thumbs side by side, that means you think you're sexy and you're not very smart. All right. Now, here's what I want you to do. I want you to keep your fingers the same and switch your thumbs. So left over right and vice versa. How does that feel? Awkward, right? Weird. How come? Not natural, right? Because I broke your pattern, right? Now, sometimes do your patterns get so ingrained in you that you begin to run on autopilot? Yes? What happens if your patterns are taking a direction that you no longer want to go? What if they're taking you down a road that isn't producing the results that someone with your level of skill, knowledge, and talent deserves to be producing? Because when your knowledge comes up against your habits, they always win. So today, do I have your permission to take you to the end of your comfort zone, even if it feels a bit uncomfortable? Yes? Yes. All right, have a seat, you sexy millionaires. Now, what Tony Robbins found, working with the best of the best over the last 35 years, is that there's 3 major pillars to creating extraordinary results in your business and all areas of your life. Who wants to know what they are? Say yes. Yes. All right, write this down. SAM. S-A-M. All right? So the first pillar is strategies. What's first pillar? Strategies, right? So guys, I'm going to talk about business a lot. Most of the context of most of my workshops is with business people. But guys, apply this to your work, to your schoolwork, right? Apply this to athletics, right? Because the principles, the patterns are the same. Does that make sense? Right? So if it's your business plan, it's your athletic plan, your workout plan, your syllabus for your classes, right? Whatever it is for you. Some of you might even already want to start a business anyway, right? Does anybody in this room want to start a business? Anybody have a cool business idea they want to start? Nobody? All right, cool. That's totally fine. You do. Awesome, right? So basically, it's your plan of action, right? How well are you implementing your plan? Are you getting closer to your goals or further away? Do you even have a plan in place? If you fail the plan, you plan to fail. That's right. So today, I want you guys to think about not only what you want, but why you want it. Because when you have a big enough why, the how, it just seems to show up, doesn't it? 100%, right? The second pillar is activity. What's the second pillar? Activity, right? How well are you executing your plan, right? Are you getting in the gym every day, getting your workouts in? Are you doing your schoolwork on a consistent basis, right? If it is a business, right? How many calls you making on a daily basis? How many customers you're reaching out to, right? And the third pillar is the most important. It's your mindset. What's the third pillar? Mindset. 80% of your success in anything, it's your mindset. It's the ability to take action daily and have an unstoppable mental attitude. The confidence and certainty in yourself, the market, your job, your sport, your school, your coach, your team, right? That there's opportunity everywhere around you. You're so prepared, so determined, and fired up in a peak state with laser focus on your outcome. You do whatever it takes. Prospecting daily, making those extra calls, and asking for referrals every single time you're with a client, right? Executing incredible follow-up. Why? Because that's who you are, right? It's your identity. This is what an unstoppable mindset looks like. Now, 20% of your success in your business, in your schoolwork, in your sport, that's the mechanics, right? And this is quite frankly where most people, they focus all their time and energy. Now, we all agree that mechanics are important, but how many of you know your sport, your school, what you got to be doing inside and out for the most part, and still aren't getting the results you want to get? Anybody? I appreciate your honesty, right? And what it really comes down to the fact is we're not doing what we know, right? For the most part, Ronnie, do you know what you should be doing on a daily basis in your sport or in school? Yes? Yeah, right? Anybody else feel the same way? You guys know what you should be doing on a daily basis, right? It's not a lack of information. All the information's out there, right? If anything, there's way too much information now, right? So this is what an unstoppable mindset looks like, right? So strategies, activity, and mindset, okay? So let's look at this together as a team, because if we play as a team, we win as a team, yes? Cool. So on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being you're not liking the results you're producing at all, you're doing absolutely terrible, And 10, you're doing so great in whatever it is you're doing. You guys can apply this to, choose one thing, right? If you want to apply it to school, choose school. If you want to apply it to your sports, choose sports. If you want to apply it to work and business, choose that, okay? Right? So 1 being you're doing terrible, 10 you're doing absolutely outstanding, right? Where are you on that scale, okay? So now somebody like a LeBron James, a Warren Buffett, an Oprah Winfrey, they might be a 10 in most people's eyes, but to themselves, they might be a 5 or a 6, right? So it doesn't matter what other people raise their hands for. This is based on you and your standards for yourself, right? Because we're all at different stages, different places in life as well, right? And at the end of the day, the only person that can tell us whether or not we're putting our best foot forward is who? Ourselves, right? So who here is a 1 or a 2? Thank you, I appreciate your honesty. 3 or 4? Thank you, I appreciate your honesty, guys. 5 or 6? Thank you. 7 or 8? And a 9 or 10. Cool, thank you guys. So as a team on average, what would you guys say we are based on all the hands that went up? 4-ish, 5-ish, yeah? So let's say we're a 5, all right? I saw some 6s go up. Let's say we're a 5, all right? Now I have some really good news for you, right? If most of you are playing at level 5 or below, all that tells us is that you're leaving 50% of your potential on the table every single day, right? Whether that's in your schoolwork, whether that's in how well you can perform in your sport, whether that's in your business and your work and your career, right? Now, if there was ever a time you cannot afford to leave 50% of whatever it is you want to be doing on the table every single day, it's now, true? Let's go get that off the table and put it back in your pockets and yourself where it belongs, yes? Who here would like to be 50% better in whatever it is they want to do in the next business quarter, by a show of hands? In the next quarter, awesome. Now, I have a serious question for you, though. What's holding you back from being a level 9 or 10, right? You want to be 100% honest with yourselves. Not me, but yourself. So go ahead and write these reasons down. Take as long as you need in the next 2 minutes, right? So what's holding you back from being that 9 or 10 that you want to be? Again, in your sport, in your schoolwork, in your career. Sorry?
Mine's being a dad.
Yeah, write that down. Yep, if that comes to you. Oh, okay, yeah. Then focus on that. Yeah, that's cool. That's totally cool. Yep. So whatever you want to apply to. Normally I would do it in a business context, but if you want to apply it to your sport, if you want to apply it to school, you want to apply it to an area of your life, right?
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, take as long as you need in the next 5 seconds. Anybody want to share something to write down?
Time management.
Time management, thank you. What's your name?
Michelle.
Michelle, thank you, Michelle. Time management. Anybody else feel the same way as Michelle? Time management? Yep, thank you for your honesty. Cool. What else?
Stuck in a routine.
Stuck in a routine. Yes, thank you, Coach. Cool. You had your hand up, my man?
Yeah, continuing education.
Continuing education. Cool. What's your name?
Justin.
Justin, thank you. Anybody else? Yeah.
Activities outside my goal, like don't relate or help my goal.
I'm sorry, say it again?
Activities like outside my goal that don't benefit what I want to get done.
Got it. Okay, so are you saying you get distracted by them or there's other things you got to do as well? Distractions. Okay, cool. What's your name? Michael. Thank you, Michael. Cool. Does anybody here ever procrastinate at all? Yep, thank you for your honesty. And those of you that aren't raising your hands, you'll probably raise your hands next week, yeah? You'll hold off on that one? Anybody, somebody had their hands up, yeah? Yeah.
Discipline.
Discipline, yeah, cool. What's your name?
Jake.
Jake, cool. Cool, what else? Yeah. Prioritization, yeah. Great one. What's your name? Jamie. Cool, thank you. What's up? Did you say something, Ronnie? No? Okay. What about, does anybody ever feel a little bit lazy sometimes? You don't want to like wake up and go to the gym or like get your studying for the day? Yeah? And some of you are too lazy to raise your hands to admit that also, right? You're using the armrest, right? Like, me too, right? What else? Come on. Yes? Perfectionism. Yeah, thank you. What's your name? Jesse. Thank you, Jesse. Can we use some more confidence in areas of our lives, in our sport, in our schoolwork, in our relationships? Yes? Cool. Thank you. What else? Yeah. Pride. Yep. Thank you, Josh. And we all have like friends and family outside of work, outside work commitments or schoolwork, outside of schoolwork, outside of our athletics, right? And we'll call that life. Is that cool? Right? Outside volunteer activities. And Mike Tyson, he said everybody thinks they have a plan until they get punched in the face, right? Because life, it usually punches you in the face at the worst times also. When something goes bad in your schoolwork or your sport, doesn't something usually bad happen in your personal life too sometimes, right? But that's life testing us to build the mental, the emotional, the physical, the spiritual muscle, whatever you want to call it, to grow, right? Because when you go to the gym, right, when do you build the muscle? We were talking about this morning, me and Taylor, right? When you go to the gym, when do you build the muscle? On the first repetition or on the 13th, 14th, 15th? Last ones, right? And do you go to the gym once and that's it, or do you keep going every single friggin' day? Every day, right? So we'll call that life. Cool. Anything else? Yeah. Attitude. Yeah, thank you, man. What's your name? What is it? Rob. Cool. Awesome. Does anybody ever have some self-doubt about themselves? Self-doubt? Yeah, thank you. Patience, yep. Cool, awesome, guys. So the reason we're doing this right now, guys, is awareness is the first step to curing anything, right? So sometimes just being aware of something, that's curative, right? So I used to have this belief that I can't change my outside world, right? Just whatever's happening in my life, that's just what's happening, right? I'm just at the effect of my life. But the first step is knowing you're responsible for how you choose to respond to anything in your life and that you can change it, right? I used to never think I could change it. But once you start to uncover this stuff, then that's the first step to being able to change it. Does that make sense? Cool. So how many of you guys would agree to be successful in any area of your life, right? Is anybody not familiar with this concept of the wheel of life? Anybody not familiar with that concept? Cool. Thank you for your honesty. So we all might know somebody that's like super successful in business, but the relationships are a mess. Anybody know like somebody like this, right? Or somebody that's like really healthy and fit, killing it in sports, but they're like broke or they're just terrible in school. They're not doing good in their school, right? So the idea is you want to focus on your life holistically, right? Because we all have our physical lives, we have our time with our friends and our family, we have our contribution to society, we have our schoolwork, our finances, right? And Peter Drucker, he's an amazing management consultant at Harvard, he said what gets measured gets managed, right? So when you guys play your sport, if you're not tracking your workouts, you're not going to get the same results as you would if somebody did track their workouts, right? Or tracking what you're putting in your body. Or if it comes to business, if you're in sales, we're all in sales, by the way, right? If you're not tracking your sales calls, your interactions with your clients, you're not going to get the same results as somebody who does, right? The best financial traders in the world, they track everything they do, right? The richest guys in the world and women, right? They track everything they spend, right? So if you track it, you'll measure it, you'll manage it, and then you can get the results you want. Make sense? Cool. So to be successful in any area of your life, you need to have a planned strategy, commit to executing the plan daily, and have an unstoppable mindset. True? Yes or yes? Awesome. How many of you would also agree that some of these reasons of why you're not playing at a 9 or 10 in your business or your school or your sport are the same reasons holding you back in other areas of your life, right? Because isn't it true that every area of your life affects every other area of your life, right? Does your health affect your work or your schoolwork? Yes? And does your schoolwork or even your work outside of school, does that affect your income? Yeah? And does your income affect your relationships and your fun? 100%. So these are all great reasons, but what are they really? These are all great reasons as to why you're not being your 9 or 10, but what are they really? What's up? So these are all great reasons as to why you're not performing at a 10 or 9 or 10, but what are they really? Thank you for your honesty. Yep. Write this down, guys. This is a very scientific term. All this stuff is your BS. And your BS stands for your what? Your belief systems, Rob. Come on, man. But I like the way you think. That is true too sometimes, right? So Tony Robbins helping millions of people achieve amazing results in their business and their schoolwork, their athletics, and all areas of their life and are unleash the power within events. He's always asked this question: what's the difference that makes the difference? In other words, why would someone produce amazing results in their sport, amazing results in their schoolwork, and other people can't get any results? Why do some people have loving, amazing, passionate relationships, and others, they can never find the way? And why do some people, they always find a way to go to the gym, eat right, work out daily, and have tons of energy, and others, they can never find the time? Why do some people always find a reason they can, others always find a reason they can't, right? What's the difference that makes the difference?
I guess how you agree.
What's up?
How you agree.
Part of it, right? So that's the crazy thing though, right? Because again, we all have our conditioning as a kid, right? From our family, from our friends, from just our life experiences. But you want to make it so that doesn't affect you in a negative way, right? Because again, at the end of the day, we all have challenges growing up, right? Whatever, family, friends, just life experiences. But you want to make it so at the end of the day, no matter what happened on the outside world, you can control it internally. Does that make sense? Right? Cool. So all these answers, they're correct, guys. I agree too. But there's one answer that drives all these answers. It's called your belief systems. All human behavior is belief-driven. Behind every action, there's a belief. The reason you guys decided to come here this morning before your class, right? It's driven by your belief systems. How you feel about any given subject that determines your thoughts. And those thoughts, they influence your decisions. And those decisions, they determine your actions or your lack of actions, which ultimately determines your results. So if this is true, what's the definition of a belief? What do you guys think? Any psychology majors in here? Yeah, Rob.
Faith.
What's up?
Mine is
Faith? Yeah, cool. Great answer. Yep. Awesome. Anything else? All right, so write this down, guys. A belief is a feeling of absolute certainty you have about something. A belief is a feeling of absolute certainty you have about something, right? Tony Robbins, when he worked with Michael Jordan, right? He's like, Michael Jordan walks in a room, the room just, it's done, right? His certainty, when he walks in the room, it just shuts down the room, right? All the attention goes right to that guy, right? Because he's so certain about his skills, what he can do, right? So there's two kinds of beliefs. How many kinds? Two. Write this down. Number one, limiting beliefs. What do you guys think a limiting belief does? Yeah, right? Note your question. A limiting belief stops you from taking massive action. They prevent you from getting everything you want to do, and everything you want to be in life. They're dream killers. Number two, empowering beliefs. What does an empowering belief do?
Makes it possible.
Yeah, right, Josh? An empowering belief allows you to take massive action towards everything you want to do, to be, and to achieve in your life. Now, if you take one principle from me today, take this. You'll never out-earn, outsell, or outperform your belief system. For example, you're never going to make $200,000 a year, right? Or start your own business, or get a 4.0 GPA in school if you don't think you can do it, right? You'll never have a loving and passionate relationship if you think there's nobody out there for you. And it's impossible to have a healthy, fit body full of energy and vitality if you think you're big boned and you can't do it. That make sense? Now, people have a lot of beliefs about our economy. Let me ask you a question about that. 8 years ago, in 2008, were there people out there being really successful in their businesses? Yes? Were there people not being successful? Yeah, right? And in today's economy, are there people making a lot of money? And other people not making money? Yeah, right? So the no such thing as a bad market, just a bad mindset or belief system. Remember this, own this. If there's someone out there doing it, you can too. Whether you believe it or not, you're correct. If you believe you can't do something, you can't, right? If you believe you can, it's only a matter of time, and you will, right? Check this out. What do you guys see? Yeah, what else? And a sad face, right? So there's millions of reasons why you could crush it in school, crush it in your sport, make $1 million if that's what you want to do, right? But there's also millions of reasons why you can't, right? And these are all right, these are all right. It's just a question of which one you want to focus on, and it's as simple as looking at this face or this face, right? And whether or not you believe that's true, that's your belief about it. If you think it's impossible, I promise you'll never do it, right? If you believe you can do it, like turning on a light switch in this room and flooding it with light, if you told somebody 100 years ago, hey man, I could flip a switch and there'll be tons of light all over the place, you'd be like, yeah, you're crazy, right? But always looking back in retrospect, it's a lot easier to say what is or isn't possible, right? Do you guys know who Roger Bannister is? Anybody? Yeah, right, what do you do? Yeah, right? Before that, the belief system was that if you ran a mile under 4 minutes, your heart would explode and you would die, right? Again, looking back in retrospect, we can laugh and say it was silly, right? But that's what the belief was. And then after that, guess how many people broke the 4-minute mile in the same year? About 50 people, right? And now people in high school are doing it, right? I'm sure guys in the school are doing it. Guys and girls in the school are doing it, right? So right now I want to share with you how it's scientifically proven how your beliefs and patterns determine how much money, how well you're going to do this year in school, in your athletics, in your business, in your future, in your careers, whatever you want to do, right? Next year and every single year in the future. They determine your success in every area of your lives. You guys want to learn this? Oh, no, you guys don't want to learn this. I'm going to go get a workout in. If you guys really want to learn this, say yes. Yes. All right. So let's say as a team we're trying to produce a specific result, right? So what's a result somebody wants to produce in here? What do you want to do? Anybody?
10.
What's up?
10. I want 10 national championships.
10 national championships. Awesome. Cool. Anything else? What about you, Ronnie? What do you want to do? Sports, school, business. What's the result you want to produce? Become a star? Cool. What does that look like? What does that mean? Like, what's a measurable, how will you know when you become a star?
No, I'm talking like a starter on the team.
A starter. Okay, cool. How will you know when you become a starter? When you're starting, obviously. Okay. So become a starter on the team, right? Cool. There you go. Awesome. What else? Anybody else?
Reach my potential.
Reach your potential? So what is that? What does that mean to you?
The best I can be at everything I do.
That's awesome. I love it. So there's this thing. Have you guys ever like bought a new car? Anybody buy a new car in this room and then all of a sudden you see that new car everywhere you go, right? Or you buy something new and then all of a sudden you see that thing everywhere and you're like, I don't want this freaking thing anymore, right? So there's this thing in your brain. It's called the reticular activating system, right? So it's part of your subconscious mainly. So our brains are always working, right? Consciously, we could focus on 7 plus or minus 2 things at a time, right? But subconsciously, right now, your subconscious mind, it's filtering out billions of bits of information, right? You're probably not noticing your feet on the ground, the air that might be flowing through the air right now, the wind, right? Or the sound that's maybe going through your head or the blood pulsing through your ears, right? But now you might be aware of it, as obviously I pointed out, right? But the point is, if you give your brain a specific and measurable outcome to focus on, it'll start thinking of creative ways to make it happen when you're not even thinking about it, right? So when you're sleeping, when you're just walking around the day. So if you're like, hey man, I want to make $150,000 by June 1st, 2017, right? Specific, measurable, you know if you can get it, right? Then your brain's going to start working on that, be like, oh, how can I do this, right? Or how can I get a 4.0 and become a starter, right? If you ask yourself a better question, you'll get a better answer too. Most people ask themselves bad questions, right? They're like, oh, why does my life stink? Why am I not a starter? Why am I doing so bad in school? If you ask yourself that question, you'll keep getting that answer. Oh, because you are lazy. Oh, because you're not smart. Oh, because there's people better than you, right? But if you said, hey, how can I become a starter and get a 4.0 in school? Then your brain's gonna be like, okay, how can I become a starter and get a 4.0 in school? If you keep asking yourself that question, you're gonna keep building that pattern, kind of like going to the gym, right? Keep working out over and over and over, you're gonna build the muscle. Just like there's physical fitness in the gym, me and Coach were talking about, there's emotional fitness in your mind and your emotions, right? So you wanna build those emotional muscles for whatever it is you want. Make sense? So love, it's a muscle, right? The cool thing about life, everything in life is a skill. Love is a skill, empathy is a skill, obviously shooting a basketball is a skill, whatever it is, it's all a skill. And the cool thing about that is we all have the same neurology and nervous systems, and we can all learn those skills. But there's 4 levels of competence. There's unconscious incompetence, which basically means you don't know how to do something, right? So when you were a kid, you didn't know how to tie your shoes, right? And then all of a sudden your mom's like, hey, you got to start tying these things, buddy, right? So then you're like, okay, shoot, I'm really bad at this. So you became consciously incompetent at tying your shoes. Does that make sense, right? So you knew you're really bad at tying your shoes. Then after that, you did it a little more, you started building the muscle. Then you became consciously confident at tying your shoes, right? Then you're like, okay, I'm getting good at this. I still have to think about it a little bit, but I'm getting good at it. And then after a while, now you guys don't have to think about it, obviously, right? I hope you don't, right? So now you're just like, all right, cool, put on my shoes, go to school, right? Go to work, right? So same thing with anything, right? If you're not that good at something right now, don't worry about it. That's totally cool. You get to go through that process of learning. 1, 2, 3, 4. Make sense? Cool. So let's, guys, put down whatever goals you want to achieve for yourself. Again, make sure they're specific and measurable. Maybe one for school, maybe one for your sport, and maybe one for something else in your life. Maybe physically, maybe a relationship goal you have, right? Maybe some of you want to get into a relationship. Maybe some of you want to get out of a relationship. I'm just joking, right? Maybe contribution-wise, all right? So put down 1 or 2 goals in the same box over here in the R, because R stands for result. Make sense? Cool. And then one last thing, guys, or 2 last things. With goal setting, people sometimes say to me, Naeem, I want to be like a billionaire. I'm like, that's so cool. Anything's possible, right? And I say, how much did you make last year? And they say $50,000, right? Like, okay, cool, bit of a stretch. But if somebody came to you, coach, and say, coach, I never worked out in my life. I'm 300 pounds overweight. I want to be like a star athlete on the football team, right? Is it possible? Yeah, right? But they're going to have to take massive action, right? And go through lots of physical pain, 100%, right? Like I went through with Taylor today, right? But also lots of emotional and mental pain, right? So if you're not willing to do that, chunk it down a little bit. Make sense? And on the flip side, if you already made, or if you already got the result you want, if you're already a starter, if you were a starter before, you already know you can do it, right? So maybe go for a little bit more of a stretch goal. Does that make sense? And also another thing is, some people say, hey, I want to be Michael Jordan, right? But they're like 50 years old. Or I want to be Serena Williams, but they're like 50 years old. But I say to them, it's not about the goal anyway. The only purpose of setting goals, it's about who you have to become to get the goal. Make sense? So we don't want those outside things anyway. There's nothing wrong with them. Making a lot of money, having the relationship, whatever it is you want, nothing wrong with it. Go get it, right? But the only reason you want it is so you can change how you think up here and feel in here. And the cool thing is you could have that in a heartbeat, right? But sometimes we have these patterns and beliefs that hold us back from doing it, right? I used to work on Wall Street. I know so many guys that they think they have to be billionaires because of some messed up reason. They think they have to be a billionaire first to have the love they want in their life, right? And we all know that's silly logically. You could have it in a heartbeat. Make sense? Cool. So who here wants to be part of the team that produces the results they want for themselves over the next 12 months? Say yes. Yes. Awesome. Now here's the question though. Who here is committed to the actions needed to produce those results? Say yes. Awesome, because in order to produce any result you want for yourself, are there specific and measurable actions you must take on a day-to-day basis? Yes, right? And our actions, our lack of actions, they determine our results, true? Now, in order for you to take those actions to produce these results, how much of your potential do you need to tap into? A little or a lot? A lot. And by the way, what's the potential of a human being? What's the potential? Unlimited, right? Limitless, yes, right? Now, and how much does it cost us financially to tap into our limitless potential every single day when we wake up? 0, yeah. And how much do you think people tap into every single day when they wake up? Not much, right? Einstein said we use less than 5% of our brain, right? Now, in order for you to access that free, limitless potential, so you can take those actions to produce the results you want for yourself, what type of beliefs and, what's the P word? The other one. Patterns, right, Rob? You said it, Rob? My man up there? Awesome. What's your name? Tyler. Thank you, Tyler, right? Patterns do you need to form about yourself, the market, the economy, your school, whatever it is, right? Now, suppose someone is waking up every day, walking around, doing their thing with these things going on in their head, these limiting beliefs. What kind of results do you think that person's going to produce in their school, in their athletics, in their life in general? Good or bad? Bad ones, right? Now with that mindset, is this person going to tap into more or less their potential every single day when they wake up? More or less? Less, right? Less, right? And when they use less potential, they're going to take more or less action? Less action, right? And what kind of results are they going to get? What's that? 0, right? Less results, right? Are they going to be a starter, Ronnie? No, right? Are they going to get a 4.0? Do you guys still judge your school on a 4.0 scale? Yeah? Are they going to get a 4.0 in their school, right? No, right? And then they go, see, I told you so, it wasn't me. I told you so, it's the market. I told you so, it's my professor. I told you so, it's my coach. I told you so, it's all my teammates. They stink, right? I told you so, it's everything else but who? Yourself, right? I'm sure we've all heard this before. It's Obama, right? And then what happens with our level of certainty about these limiting beliefs when we start to believe they're true? Our level of certainty about these goes where? Up or down? Up, right? This stuff gets reinforced and it grows. Boom. And then you develop a limiting mindset. You start to believe your doubts. These are your doubts. And then you doubt your good beliefs. Because we all have good beliefs too. That's what got you guys in this room. That's what got you guys to this school, right? And by the way, it's not to say this stuff isn't true. This stuff is true, right? But are there people out there in this world that have had the same challenge or even worse and gotten the results they want for themselves? Yes, right? It's just a question of whether or not you want to be a victim or a victor to your circumstances, right? And then this is what happens if you have this stuff. You tap into less potential, you take less action, you get worse results, right? I heard a great quote. It said, your worst day is better than somebody's best day will ever be, right? Or think about your worst day, God forbid that's going to happen to you one day. There's 7 billion people on this planet. 90% of those people, they would trade their lives for your worst day, right? And then this is what happens. You feel stuck right in the middle of that pattern, right? Now, if you're not getting the results, it's only one of two reasons. One, you don't know what to do. And if that's the case, it's really easy. Go read a book, right? Or there's this really cool thing out there. You could ask it anything in the world. It'll give you an answer. You could learn anything on it. It's called the internet, right? And I know it sounds silly, but it's one of those things we take for granted in today's day and age, right? Elon Musk. Do you guys know Elon Musk? Right? He's building rocket ships right now to go to Mars. He put all of his source code on the internet. You can go check it out. Try to build a rocket ship for yourself if you want to, right? $1 billion idea if you want to make $1 billion. Or Peter Thiel. He's the first outside investor in Facebook. Multi-billionaire Silicon Valley venture capitalist. He has a course he teaches at Stanford. It's an MBA course. You can go watch it for free on the internet, right? But Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, they know that people aren't going to take the action, right? And that's number two. People don't take the action. And if that's the case, you got to start working on the mindset every single day, your emotional conditioning, right? What we teach with Tony Robbins, right? Because it's not about our resources. Most people think it's about the resources. I don't have the money. I don't have the time. I came from this family. I didn't come from this social network, right? But it's not about that stuff because we all know people that came from nothing. Usually the most successful people in the world, they come from where? Nothing, right? Oprah Winfrey, Sam Walton, Warren Buffett, right? Sometimes I feel bad for the people that are kind of privileged, quote unquote, because they don't know what it takes to get to the top. And they don't have that internal hunger, that drive that those other people are born with, right? Sam Walton, you guys know who Sam Walton is, right? He still went to his stores over and over and over doing the same thing he was doing when he was in his 20s and 30s building his business, when he was in his 60s and 70s, already a multi-billionaire, right? Going out, checking the inventory, going and meeting people, right? Because it's in his blood. He loves it. It's like going to the gym, right? You love the hustle, right? People say they want to make a lot of money so they can never do anything in their lives. It's funny because people, the most successful people, they make billions of dollars. If it's not, again, it's not about just money, but people that do say they want to make a lot of money, the people that make a lot of money, they work even harder once they make all the money, right? They work even harder, right? So guys, this is what happens. Now imagine this. Imagine you destroy all these patterns and beliefs, okay? You no longer let the external world dictate your internal world, and therefore your results. And your new belief is that you're an absolutely outstanding athlete, an outstanding student, an outstanding salesperson. Anybody would be foolish not to do business with you, to associate with you, to play with you, to work with you, right? Because you also produce top results, right? Now, is this an empowering belief or a limiting belief? Empowering belief. And with this empowering belief, are you going to tap into more or less of your potential as a human being? More or less? 100% more, right? And then this is what happens, right? You tap into more potential, you take more action, you get better results, and the cycle continues in the positive way, right? Now, I believe we've all been given many gifts in our lives. And one of them is the most amazing machine ever created. You guys all know this, right? Our bodies. We've also been given the most powerful computer in the world, the iPhone. I'm just joking, right? Tough crowd here, right? But by the way, the iPhone, it's more powerful than the president had 10 years ago, than NASA had on their spaceships 10 years ago, right? Moore's Law, the guy who founded Intel, the rate of technological increase on the microchips and all our computers, it increases at exponential rate, right? Anybody here of the singularity? No? Ray Kurzweil, Peter Diamandis, you guys know those guys? So basically, again, as technology gets more and more advanced, it's increasing at an exponential rate, right? So now we have like, obviously our computers in our pockets, right? But it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, nanotechnology, right? It can go in your blood, it can track your biohealth, it can track whatever it is you want to track, right? But what do you guys think is the most important technology to master to begin with? What did you say? Your brain, right? The computer, it's modeled after the human brain, right? Steve Jobs, he said it's a great exercise for everybody to learn how to program a computer, right? Because you'll get a cool, tangible result, a tangible experience as to how your brain actually operates, right? So, and by the way, every computer runs a what? What do computers run? They run programs, right? Or operating systems. The question is, what program are you running right now? And I don't have the time program. I don't have the money program. A, it's not me, it's everybody else program. It's my coach. It's my teammates. It's my professor, right? It's my family, right? The beliefs about your life, they're the results you're getting. Your B equals your R. Your current state of your checking your savings account, your health, your results in your career, and the amount of love and passion you have in your relationships. They're a direct reflection of your beliefs about your life. Nothing will change until you change. You can't talk yourself out of something you acted yourself into, right? In order to do something you haven't done, you have to be someone you haven't been, right? Now, would you agree with me that Albert Einstein was an intelligent man? Yeah? What was his definition of insanity? Different result, right? So doing the same things over and over and over, expecting a different result, right? The cool thing about life is that success and failure, they're on the same street. Success, it's just a little farther down the street. So who here is 100% committed to taking the actions needed to going further down the road with me to produce the results they want for themselves over the next 12 months? Say yes. Yes. Awesome. Now, does a good coach tell what you want to hear or what you need to hear? What you need to hear, right? So are we willing to be good coaches and coach each other and look at these patterns as a team, even if it may feel a bit uncomfortable at times, yes? Now, I'm not saying you have all these limiting beliefs, but isn't it fair to say that many people have one or two? Yeah, right? Now, are these patterns new or are they old? Old, right? Have they been here for a day, a week, or a long time? I appreciate your honesty. I know that because there was a study done at Stanford and they proved that we learn 50% of our patterns by the age of 5 and 95% by the age of 18. So right now, I want you guys to look at the patterns you wrote down in your sheet today as you're going to have a major breakthrough. But in order for this to happen, you're going to have to be 100% honest with yourselves and stop telling a lie to the truth and start telling the truth to the lie. So in the past, have these patterns impacted your careers in a good way or bad way? Bad way, right? What do these limiting beliefs cost you after year? Not getting the results, yeah. And have you guys lost games because of that? Championships, potentially? Yeah? And what are these patterns brought in the past? Happiness or stress? Yep. And have they taken a toll on your relationships and your health? We all know the story about the doctor and the patient where the doctor says, if you don't stop drinking and smoking, you're going to have a heart attack or you may even die. And rarely does the person ever change. How come? Because yeah, that's a good answer too, right? But ultimately it's because what'd you say, Josh? Set in their ways, right? And again, nothing wrong with that. I'm not an evangelist, right? You can do whatever you want in your free time, right? But again, there's a time and place for everything, right? So if you want to smoke and drink, that's totally cool. Obviously not the healthiest thing for you, but you want to enjoy your life too. You got to find your balance for yourself, right? But ultimately it's because the patterns and beliefs, they're so ingrained in them, right? So coach, you coach the team. What are the consequences of not changing those patterns? Yeah, right? Stay in the rut, yep. So let me ask you this. If we take one of these chairs here you guys have in this auditorium, and we set it outside, and we just leave it there, and we don't do anything to it. We come back in 5 years, okay? Now, we know you're thinking, it doesn't get stolen, all right, guys? Now, is it going to be the same chair, a better chair, or a worse chair? Worse, exactly. It deteriorates, it falls apart. Because nothing in life stays the same. It's just like nature, a plant. It's either growing or dying. In your business, or your school, or your athletics, you're either moving forward, or you're getting left behind. My question is, what if it wasn't a chair out there, and it was you? Because isn't it true, the past does not have to equal the future unless you choose to live there, right? Can we change the market or the economy? No, right? We can influence, but we can't change it. The only person we can change is who? Yourself, yeah. So let's say this. Let's say nothing changed in the external world. We have the same market, same economy, same coach, same professor, same family, same friends, same teammates, right? Nothing changed in the external world. But you change the internal world by destroying some of those patterns and beliefs. Realistically speaking, how would your life be different over the next 12 months? Right? In your physical health, in your athletics, in your schoolwork, in your relationships, in your finances, right? Everybody take a minute just to write that down. So how would your life be different over the next 12 months if you destroyed some of those patterns? Some procrastination, some lack of belief in yourself, right? Yeah, class soon, yeah. Cool, so I'll be done in like 2 minutes, yeah? So this is where you build the emotional muscle, right? So the stronger you build this muscle, this pathway of like, boom, I'm going to be a beast on the court. I'm going to have an amazing relationship. I'm going to have enough money to help my family. I'm going to be an amazing scientist, whatever it is you want to do, right? You build that emotional conditioning just like when you go to the gym. The more you do this, the stronger it gets. The stronger it gets, the more you're going to take the action. Make sense? So it's all, honestly, whatever you put into it is what you get out of it, right? Just like sports, just like anything in life, 100%. Anyone want to share something they wrote down? Better grades, cool, man. And what will that mean for you if you got better grades? Less stress? Yep. And even long term, if you got better grades, what would happen for you in like the next 5 years or something? What would that mean for your future? You would have a master's degree? Cool. And what would you do with that degree? Get a job. Cool. Would it be a good job? What's up? Yep. There you go, man. Cool. Very cool. Anybody else want to share? Come on.
Not overcommit.
Not overcommit. Cool. Yeah. And what would that mean for you if you didn't overcommit?
Opening up time to put more effort into the areas that will increase growth.
Yeah. Yep. And what would that mean for other people also?
More one-on-one individual time.
Yeah, yeah. And how would that impact their lives?
Great.
That's really cool. Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you for sharing, Michelle. Cool. Awesome, guys. So, guys, thank you. I'm going to give a little intermission here because I know some of you guys do have to go to class. So, for those of you who do have to go to class, we'll wrap it up. And then if we do want to do more stuff after, Coach, we can definitely do more stuff after. Sound good? Cool. And if you guys have questions, I'll be here too for a little bit. Yeah, yeah. Let's pick up. So, guys, write this down. Emotional state. What's emotional state? What do you guys think? What is it? Yeah, right? No, it's your question. It's basically the way you feel, right? So would you guys rather have the outside world determine how you feel? Or would you rather be the one that determines how you feel? Yeah. So what determines the way you feel? What you think? Yep. Anything else?
How others perceive you.
Interesting. Okay, cool. So that's where you want to be very, you want to take ownership, right? Because if others perceive you, you don't want to let others kind of influence the way you feel negatively, right? But if it's a positive thing, yeah, 100%, right? Does that make sense? So if people are like talking trash about you in your personal life or even obviously on this field, obviously you want to be able to block that out and stay focused on who you know you are, have that certainty. Make sense? Cool. Anything else? So it's basically, it's three things, okay? We'll chunk it down a little bit. It's called your triad. So at any given moment in time, what are you focused on, right? So right now, are you focused on me? Are you focused on the work you have to do later today? Are you focused on what happened last night? Are you focused on like just all the stuff that's going on in your life right now, right? And then, by the way, once you have a focus, there's always two other things going on subconsciously. One is, what does it mean, right? The meaning. So basically, we all know two people that have been in the same family experience, same business experience, same school or sports experience. Say something bad happens, right? You lose a big game, lose a championship. One person says, hey, this sucks. Why does this always happen to us? It's not fair, right? I give up. Other one says, hey, you know what? Tough break, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to step up, I'm going to raise my level, and I'm going to break through and set an example, right? Two people, same experience, different meanings, different actions, different lives, right? And different destinies for their lives, right? And then after you do that, so after you give it a meaning, then you take the actions, right? Again, so if you have give it an empowering meaning, you'll take an empowering action. You give it a disempowering meaning, you'll take a disempowering action, right? So after your focus, it's your physiology, right? So people come and see us. They tell us, oh, Naeem, I'm so depressed. My life sucks. What do I do? Man, like I'm not doing good in school. I'm not a good athlete. I'm not a starter. What do I do about my life? It sucks, right? And all I say is the first thing you got to do is change your physiology, right? And I know it sounds simplistic. I know we don't know this cognitively, but the quickest way to change your state, your emotions, is change your physiology, right? I'm sure when you guys are having a bad day and you get in the gym, it changes everything, yes? Right? Same thing in your life, right? If you're out prospecting in business, dealing with clients, dealing with people on your team, if you're in a lousy physiology, you will be lousy with them. Make sense? People smoke cigarettes for the most part because it's the one time of the day they actually breathe deep into their diaphragm. Every other time of the day, they breathe shallow up here into their chest, which causes lots of stress and anxiety, right? And the third thing is your internal language patterns. Right? So basically, we all have about 70,000 thoughts per day on average as human beings. And about 90% of those thoughts, they're the same thoughts we had yesterday, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, right? So your internal language patterns, right? I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm too young. I'm too old. I'm a man. I'm a woman, right? I'm black. I'm white, whatever it is, right? Now, in today's economy, in today's world, are people uncertain, or are they certain, or are they uncertain about what's going on? Uncertain, exactly. So if you have an uncertain client, an uncertain teammate, an uncertain anybody, is anybody going to take any action whatsoever? Absolutely not, right? That's why your certainty, it has to overcome their doubt. You have to be so certain about yourself, your service, and the opportunity you provide. This is why people want to be associated with you. So guys, let's put this feeling in our bodies right now, okay? I need everybody on your feet. Coach, can you help out on the front? Yes, sir. Anybody else want to volunteer? Tyler? Taylor? Awesome.
Tyler, you said it right.
Is it, it's Tyler or Taylor?
Tyler.
Oh, shit, my bad, dude. Cool. I've been calling you Taylor the whole time. T.O., all right? So for the rest of you guys, imagine every area of your life at a level 10, right? You're making the money some of your skill, knowledge, and talent should be making. Picture that check. Make it even bigger. You have passionate relationships. You're crushing it in school. You're crushing it in your sport, right? And you have the body you always wanted. Everybody got the picture? Cool. Take your left hand out like this and put that picture in your hand. Now, take your right hand back like this. I'm going to ask you guys a question, and when I do, you're going to answer yes and grab that picture with enthusiasm. Got it? Great. Are you guys going to make this the best day of your lives? Yes. Cool. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, 1 being absolutely comatose dead and 10 shaking this building, where would you guys rate the energy level of that clap? As a team, what do you think? 4, 5, awful. 5. Judge Tyler, what was it? 4. Judge Coach, 7, okay. Can we all agree it wasn't a 10? Yeah? So if we could have played a level 10, could we have played a level 10? Yeah? So if we could have played a level 10, and instead we played a level, let's just average it out and say it was a 5 or a 6, right? What old beliefs and patterns made it okay for you guys, to play at that level? Maybe you guys thought it was silly. Maybe you thought it's just a silly demonstration. Maybe you thought You didn't tell me how to play to level 10. Some of you might have even said, I didn't see the check. It wasn't a real check, right? Now, one of my favorite quotes I want to share with you is from a man named Walt Disney. And he said this: most people said they need to see it before they can believe it. But Walt Disney said, you need to actually believe it before you're ever going to see it. So let me ask you guys this question in a different way. If we played this silly little game at a level 6, and we could have played full out at a level 9 or 10, then is it possible that you're playing other areas of your life at a level 6 when you could be enjoying them at a level 9 or 10? Yes, right? And aren't these just the same old reasons and patterns that show up in every area of our lives, right? How you do anything is how you do everything, right? How you show up on the field, how you show up on the court is the same way you're showing up in your classwork, right? In your school, in your classes, right? Now, I believe you guys have a level 10 in you. Do you? Yeah? And we believe in second chances, don't you? So let's do it again. But this time, guys, it's going to be massively different, okay? I'm going to ask you 3 questions. How many questions? 3. The first one, you're going to go, yes. The second one, yes. And the third one, you're going to go, yes, 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 yes. Whoa, yes. Some of you guys are going, whoa, no. Now listen, only the most self-confident type of group can pull this off. Do I have this type of group here? Yes. Yes, I like your certainty. Are you ready? Yeah. All right, now everybody close your eyes. Keep your hands down. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Now imagine you destroy all your limitations. All these little things that have stopped you in your life. And you stood firmly in your belief that by taking action every day, it's going to get you ahead. You're now making the money some of your skill, knowledge, and talent deserves to be making. You're getting the grades you deserve to be getting. You're performing at the highest level you know you could be performing at. What would your life look like? What would other people say about you? What would you say about yourself? Someday, your kids, they will look at you. And what are they going to say to you? Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad, for being this great role model in my life. All because you made a decision to step up and become your best self. Take this picture of yourself, take this sense, this feeling of yourself, and make it bigger, make it brighter, and make it vivid, and it's all true now. Now everybody take a deep breath. Now open your eyes. Take your left hand out and your right hand back. Are you going to make this the best year of your lives? Yes! Are you committed to destroying your limiting belief patterns? Yes! And are you going to step up? Yes, 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 yes! Whoa, yes! Now in this state, would you be able to get better grades in school? Yes. And do you think that you'd perform at a higher level on your athletic field, on the court? Yes? Yes. And would you have more confidence and certainty in yourselves? Yes. And would you like this to be automatic in your lives so it becomes who you are, it's your identity? Yes. Awesome. Have a seat, feeling great, guys. So guys, believing is important, but the most important thing in life is to take action, right? So I do this exercise. This isn't meant to be a pump up, right? Motivation's cool, but it's like a warm bath, right? It wears off, right? So it's not about getting yourself motivated for a moment. It's about changing yourself for the rest of your life, right? So this state you got into now, you want to set it up where you can trigger it whenever you want. Whether it's going on the field, whether it's going into class, whether it's getting prepared for a test. I promise you, if you go in for an exam and you're a lousy state, you'll be freaking lousy, right? You can know everything in the world, but if you're in a bad state, you'll fail, right? If you're in an amazing state, you'll perform 10 times better, right? So if you have a ritual, because our lives are a reflection of our rituals, if you have a ritual that gets you in the state every single time you're about to do something that you really value, whether it's going out on a date with somebody, whether it's going to hang out with your family, whether it's going to take an exam, whether it's obviously getting prepared for a game. I'm sure you guys already have some rituals for your games and for your sports. But if you make it so you can trigger it in a heartbeat, I do it every time I come up here and speak with people, right? I have my move, I say certain things to myself, and what else do? I visualize, right? All great athletes, you guys know this, they visualize, right? Jack Nicklaus, every time he swung a golf club, he was always visualizing it, right? So believing is important, but the most important thing in life, guys, is to do what? Take action, right? So the number one reason people don't take action, it's this thing called Lodi, right? And it's basically a law in business from Harvard Business School, and it's literally stealing tens of thousands of dollars out of your pockets. It's stealing from your potential in your school. It's stealing from potential on the athletic field, right? Do you guys want to learn about this? Say yes. Yes. All right, let me give you an example. How many of you completely lost out on an opportunity that you didn't take advantage of, and years later you find yourself regretting you didn't take action? Yes? How many of you worked with somebody, either in business or just anything on your team or just in school, and be like, hey, let's do that. It's a really good idea. Let's do it. When do they do it? Never, right? They have a scientific name for that. It's called Lodi, law of diminishing intent. Law of diminishing intent. It means your best intentions, they're going to decrease over time. Your best intentions, they will decrease over time, right? You ever read a book on like investing or relationships or your health and your fitness and be like, oh my God, that's such a good idea. I should do that. When do you do it normally? Never, right? Don't ever leave the sight of setting a goal, the sight of some higher level of thought or distinction or state that you're in without taking some sort of action towards its attainment, right? Even if you're not even close to being able to get it, if you want to buy a new house, if you want to get something, a new car, whatever it is, if you don't even have the money, go get a brochure, go test drive it, go look at it, go put it on your wall, right? Because all those small steps, they build up to different actions and destinies over time. Does that make sense, right? Because then it starts to build the muscle in your nervous system to teach your brain and your nervous system that that's the way you want to go. Make sense, right? So do you guys want to learn how to distort procrastination in your clients' lives? And guess who are your clients, by the way, guys? When I say clients, who do you think your clients are? Players, right? There's your players, right? What about you guys? Who are your clients? Players, yes, but what about you guys? Teammates, yep, teammates, right? So people usually think in business, my clients are just my external customers, right? Like Apple. Apple's clients are just us who buy the iPhone or their MacBooks, right? But Apple, they have their internal clients, right? You have your internal customers. You want to add value to your internal teammates, right? To your internal coaching staff, right? To your internal professors, whoever it is, right? Because people usually also have a negative connotation towards sales. I ask people, I say, hey, by the way, you're in sales. You guys all know that, yes? And people say, I'm not in sales. I say, yes, you are. If you're living on this earth, you're in sales, yes? You ever want to be in a relationship with somebody? You're in sales. You have kids? You're in sales, right? You have teammates? You're in sales, right? Or what else? If you want to get to the gym in the morning at 5 a.m., who do you got to sell? Yourself, right? And also, people, again, they have a negative connotation towards sales, even in the business context. All sales is, it's adding value, right? The more value you could add, the more you're going to bring in terms of revenue to the business, the more money you'll make, the better people's lives will be that you serve, right? Because the Latin word of sales, it is selja, and selja means to serve, right? That's all it is. If you can serve people at the highest level, you should feel obligated to reach out to them and serve them. Make sense? And if you can't, help them find somebody else that does, right? If you guys do you guys know Zappos? Anybody use Zappos ever, right? Zappos, if you call Zappos, you can call Zappos for anything, and they'll help you. Hey, Zappos, I need a pizza place. Can you help me find one? Like, yes, sure, I'll help you. Try it, right? If you call them and ask for a shoe, and they didn't have the shoe for you, they'll be like, hey, you should call Amazon. They have it, right? Because they know by adding so much value to your life, you'll come back to them, right? They don't think about the short game. They think about the long game, right? So if you wanted to destroy procrastination in your clients, your teammates, your coaching staff, whoever it is, your business friends, right? You got to destroy it in who first? Yourself, right? Because until you destroy in your own life, you'll always attract it. There's an old saying, birds of a feather, they flock together. Successful people, they hang out with successful people, right? Lazy people, they attract lazy people. People who procrastinate, they attract people who procrastinate, right? If you take one thing from our time together, take this. If you know you should do something and it's right in front of you, do it now, right? Tattoo it on your arm, write it on your bathroom mirror, do it now. I don't care what you have to do, but build the muscle for yourself that says, if there's something in front of me and I know I should take action, then I must do it. I'm going to do it now. When? Now, right? Warren Buffett, he was on CNN, and they asked him, what's the best investment in today's economy? Do you guys want to know what he said? What do you think he said? Yourself. Yes, Josh, right? He took a Dale Carnegie public speaking course when he was in his early 20s. He said it changed his life. One distinction gave him so much more confidence than he ever had, right? He was like a little bookworm nerd guy, right? Nothing wrong with that, but it gave him more confidence, right? To go out and speak to people, to sell what he's doing, right? Because as you guarantee a return on investment, right? The next 3 years, they're going to be the biggest opportunity to make money in the last 100. Big companies, they're becoming small, and small companies, they're becoming big, right? So you guys are in a cool spot right now. Most people freak out in times like this, in times of uncertainty, right? Who knows what's going on in the world? We've never lived in a moment like this in our lives with all the technological change, all the progress that's happening. There's 2 ways you can handle it. One is you could freak out and be totally uncertain about it. Like, oh my God, what's going to happen? I don't know what's going to happen. All these jobs are getting like wiped out. Technology's taking over the world. What do I do, right? Or you can be like, to that shrinking, right? Contracting. Or you can be like, oh my God, this is awesome. This is exciting. Who knows what's going to happen? This is when guys like John Rockefeller, Andrew Carnegie, Mark Zuckerberg, this is when those guys made billions of dollars. Warren Buffett, he loves times like this. Why does he love times like this? Because everybody else is freaking out and they sell all their assets for free. Not for free, for discounts, right? He goes up and be like, boop. It's like going to the discount store, right? So again, it's not about just making money. It's about anything you want in your life, right? Most people, they're freaking out. If you learn how to manage this thing up here, your psychology, right? You'll love it, right? And again, it's not about competition. It's just about building the best life you can have for yourself. And we all deserve to have the best lives we want, right? Make sense? Cool. So guys, here's what our brains, they have stored every single experience you ever had in your life. When you're a kid, you never probably even thought about it again. You could experience something you haven't thought about since you were a 2-year-old kid, right? What you saw, what you smelled, what you felt, what you heard, how you felt inside, it's all there, right? So the thing is, we don't always go back and retrieve it. You want to build those patterns. So from this experience you just had now, because you're probably in an elevated state right now, so just go back and retrieve 1 or 2 things you learned. Be like, what did I learn from this, right? Maybe it could be something small, it could be something big, right? Because you want to build that pattern. Take a minute to write down what you learned. And also even more importantly though, because knowledge is cool, but unless you do something with it, it doesn't mean anything, right? So write down maybe 1 or 2 things you can start doing with it, right? Whether it's with your schoolwork, maybe it's a call you have to make to somebody, maybe it's a decision you need to make. Because it's in our moments of decision our destiny is shaped, right? Everything happens with a decision, right? Your life could have been so crappy up until now. You can be like, oh my God, this keeps happening over and over and over. The cool thing is it could change in a heartbeat if you just make a new decision, right? Your past doesn't have to equal the future. It changes in a heartbeat. So maybe write down 1 or 2 decisions that could also change your life. And then go do them though, right? Cool. Anybody have any questions for me? You guys are good? Yeah, just write that stuff down first then. Yeah. And sometimes people freak out, right? They don't want to make a bad decision, but that's why leaders are leaders, right? They make decisions. They might not know if it's the right one or the wrong one, right? But they make the decision, right? Because they know, hey, if I make a bad decision, that's fine, because I'll learn from it and I'll make a new one, right? But unsuccessful people, they don't make decisions. And by the way, not making a decision, that's a decision. It's just a question of being passive or active with your life, right? So guys, just to close it up, the one thing I'd say that makes the biggest difference is getting super clear on what you want for yourself. I promise you, you can have what you want, right? And it's not some BS stuff like dreams. Like, again, the only reason you want the dreams is so you can change what's going on in here, right? So it's not about the $1 billion. It's not about buying an island. It's not about whatever it is you want. You can have that, I promise you. You can make it happen. But it's about what you just want to change inside, and you can change that in a heartbeat. But the thing is, you got to be super clear on what you want, and you have to believe you can have it. You can believe you can have it, and you deserve to have it, right? If your parents say you don't have it, that's fine, right? Because they had the same conditioning that you might have from your parents, right? And it's time for you to break that pattern. If it's your parents, it might not be your parents, right? For me, it was my parents, right? It was always tough with them. They have their conditioning. They have their problems from their parents. It kind of it's like a trickle-down effect, right? Or if it's from your friends, your environment, right? Decide on what you want, know you can have it, and then you just got to focus on that every single day, and then just work on it, work on it, work on it, work on it, right? That's it. It's really simple. I know it sounds basic and boring and fundamental, but that's what it's all about. John Wooden, he was the most basic fundamental guy in the world, best coach in college history, right? So that's it. If you guys have any questions, I'm wrapped up. If you guys have questions for me, I can answer them, or you guys good? Cool, awesome. Thank you guys very much. But yeah, celebrate, schedule your celebrations, right? Go do stuff that you normally wouldn't do. Go, I don't know, whatever it is, right? So, and volunteering. Man, it's going to keep coming out. That's another huge one. Volunteering and giving, right? Because the secret to living is giving. Because again, we're so kind of like gratitude. It helps you get off yourself. We're so focused on ourselves. The only way you could feel depressed or like suffering is if you're focused on yourself, right? If I focus on you and you and you and everybody else, I don't have any problems, right? I focus on your problems. How can I help you? And the more I can help you, the better it makes me feel, right? So giving, like give your time 100%, volunteer like 2 hours a month, 2 hours a week, and also give your money. Because again, just like time, if you don't have 10 minutes to meditate, you should meditate for 3 hours a day. If you don't have the money, you should start giving away now. Because I promise you, there's billionaires out there that feel like they're broke. Because you don't get beyond scarcity, you start beyond scarcity, right? So abundance is a mindset. So there's billionaires again that feel like they're broke, right? They have billions of dollars literally in their bank account, but they're broke, right? Inside. And there's people that have no money and they're abundant because it's in a mindset, right? So the more you give, you'll teach your brain also psychologically that there's more than enough money. Does that make sense? So I tithe at least 10% of everything I make. I give it to a charity that I believe in and I give it away. And then honestly, you'll start making more money. John Templeton, do you guys know who John Templeton is? He's one of the richest guys ever, amazing investor. He started Templeton Funds. It's a big mutual fund, right? He tithed like 30% of all his income, right? Yeah. But you got to start before you're rich, right? It's like, should I go to the gym after I'm healthy? Or no, you go to the gym before you're healthy, right? Because that's how you get healthy, right? People usually think it's like, I'll start giving money away after I'm rich, or I'll start working out after I'm healthy and fit, or I'll start doing whatever after. No, it's like, that's how you get to those places. Make sense? Cool? Yeah. Of course.